episode 11 of Sisters Talk podcast. I'm Marie Robinson.
And I'm Charlene Lutz.
And we're going to pick up today where we kind of ended last week with the fear and thinking about how fear motivates us in so many different ways. And sometimes it's hard to recognize that we do make decisions based on fear. But I think society kind of, fuels that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. I don't know that it's easily tapped into. It's not something that we're constantly thinking about. It's not really in our awareness, but yeah, I think we are fueled by fear, and I think it can discourage our own authentic selves to come out. I think that it can, in a way, crush our dreams. Maybe that's too strong.
That's strong. I just got a really big visual on that.
But I think that sometimes it can force us into making decisions that aren't really aligned with what we really want in life.
I totally agree. I think you just hit it right there.
Yeah.
It's finding that alignment, and I feel like that's what I've been working on for quite some time.
Right, and how old are you?
Yeah,
so
51.
Right, so I'm 43. So if you and I, because I'm sure we both have stories to tell about how we allowed fear to carve our path for us,
so
absolutely. To speak. Well, what if we had not done that? What if we had instead chosen to go the path of least resistance, or the path that
brought us joy, that went towards love and not fear, right?
Exactly.
I'm doing this because I love it, or not because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. But I think about
where would we be?
I don't know, but no regrets. I don't like that path.
Wow, I don't like the path of regrets either.
I love where I am, and I love the path I'm on.
But I'm so curious, so I like to dissect all the different things.
I wonder this. What do you think about that?
Let me go research.
I don't know. But yeah, it is curious. It is curious to think about that.
Well, I think that just to briefly tap into the curiosity before we continue with the fear, I think that the curiosity for me fuels the awareness. So I just want to make that known that one of the reasons why I love questions, and I love to sort of think about all the possibilities and sort of reminisce on a what if situation, isn't because I'm necessarily regretful of the way things went, but instead I like to consider all the paths so that the next one is sort of maybe more aligned,
more intentional.
Yeah,
I think it can. Yeah, I think it can lead to more intention. Yeah. And we were just talking about this last night on our ride back from our retreat, our wellness retreat, which was amazing.
Yes,
but we were talking about I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, the intention and intention and awareness, and how we you need to have a sense of time to reflect and think about things so that you can become aware. And I think maybe just everyone has a different process, because I am, like we were saying, I'm more of an observer. Like I'm quietly watching everything. I'm not necessarily asking that many questions naturally.
Right.
But I'm paying close attention to what's happening around me, and I'm reflecting on that. More of an internal process that I go through.
And I'm external.
And you're external. Chattering
away.
So
So fascinating.
This is a good one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's all connected.
Yeah.
Because we have to, in order to determine, am I acting on fear, or am I going towards something I love or towards love? We have to have our processes, right? So you have to talk through it. You have to ask questions. I have to observe. I have to think about it, maybe write about it. Mm-hmm. And then we can come to some type of a, maybe conclusion, or at least a little bit more insight on what's actually happening here. Mm-hmm. I can remember going through some of my life challenges and thinking that I had to do things a certain way. And there was a moment, and I can still see this yellow little legal pad notebook, but it was like a mini one. It wasn't one of those big ones. And it was a moment, probably, I don't know, 20 years-ish ago. And I wrote, what you don't change, you choose. And that has become kind of my ongoing reminder, because it was a moment where I realized, yeah, I can choose not to do it this way. I can choose to take a different path, even though it might not be common. It might not be what other people are doing or what society says is the right thing. I think that was the beginning of me making more of my own, and probably, maybe it was a little longer, could have been 25. I forget how long ago it was, but it's definitely a moment.
Yeah.
Because we choose. Every day we choose. We can follow fear. We can, we can act out on it, or we can say, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore.
Right. Exactly. And I think that the people that we bring in to our circle of support are, the people that kind of help us navigate through the fear and can help us to get to the other side. I'm thinking about the story last night. We were talking in the car on the way home, and I reminded you of the story when I was, I don't know, 4 or 5, learning to ride a bike. And I can still remember.
Was it the pink huffy?
The pink huffy, the banana seat. And I was scared. I didn't want you to let go. I can remember thinking I didn't want her to let go. But you kept saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And I'm pedaling down the street. And then all of a sudden you're just like this mantra. It's like over and over in my mind. You can do it, you can do it. And you let go, and I did it. Right. Yeah. And it was like so powerful. Yeah. And it's like, I feel that way. It's like, we carry those sorts of things with us.
And I love that you shared that with me, because I remembered it when you mentioned it, but I had no idea
the impact
that it had on you. And it's just amazing.
Well, I wonder just how impactful it really was, because it's one of those things. I think the word that I was trying to come up with last night was visceral, maybe, where it's almost like this veil that's like covered my whole deep, like persistence. It's within. It's like it resonated through my whole being, because you're little, right? And like, we know that things that we say to children are impressionable. So I think I have carried it with me, and I've often wondered how impactful it is to help me step through fear and to help me go on the inward, like the river, beneath the river, and all of the downward things that I've done.
Digging in. To be able to find your authenticity and not to say that we're going to go be reckless. Of course, you have to pay attention to rules of society, and you're not trying to break any laws, and that's not what, I don't think either of us are saying that. It's more like the seemingly simple life decisions, like, I'll use another example, like the ukulele, right? Like, I want to learn how to play the ukulele. Well, it's a very slow process, because I think I do have a fear deep down of not being able to do it.
Right.
So then I don't do it. Because now I'll never really know.
Right. So that's
a small piece.
Well, and that fear is fueled by society, I think, saying that, we see all these amazing ukulele players, right? We don't see all their processes of learning. We don't see the rough drafts and the taped over videos or whatever it is. We only see this end final masterpiece. Right. And so we feel like we need to be there now. Right. We don't even, I wouldn't even know how to really I know how to pick it up, but I wouldn't know how to do anything on it.
Right. Well, I'm forcing myself to do it. Right. Which is, out of my comfort zone. It's not happening that regularly, but it's in my mind, and it's something I'm doing because I know. Yeah. I've realized that about myself, and I'm trying to push through that so that I can, because I think it would be super fun. That's me following my joy and working through something that would be really really uncomfortable. Exactly. And not just succumbing to the fear of oh, what if I can't do it? Well, so what? And actually I think I probably can. It's just a matter of doing it. Right. I don't feel like I can't. It's I don't know. It's confusing. Yeah. It's tricky.
It is.
But that's it's kind of what I'm thinking for the next, section of my life, is just stop moving away from feet. Stop moving forward or backward or in any direction based on fear.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, it's about being present. It's, finding that space where you can just be where you're at.
Yeah.
And it's fine where you're at.
And
whether you're learning the ukulele and you're not really that good at it yet,
yeah,
or you're, writing a book, or whatever it is. And it's just allowing that time to develop and watching it unfold, because I think just looking back, right, on the processes that we've all been through, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of doing, of creating, of being. And when we're constantly rushing, I think fueled by fear, to this end destination, I mean, I still have to remind myself that, like, I don't need to get anywhere.
You're already here.
I'm here. This is my life. Like, better enjoy it, because it's like,
so true.
We're so accustomed to this hamster wheel, right? And it's like, to sit and stop and reflect on it.
Yeah. My daughter got us a mug for Christmas a few years ago, and the mug says, "Trust the journey." And I have it on my desk as a reminder. And I look at it all the time, and I'm, and it's a constant, you have to remind yourself that it's not about some end point.
Right.
It's really about that day to day and living and learning.
Yeah. The process, and accepting it and enjoying it, and being in it, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it doesn't always feel fun or even productive. Because I think that's another one.
Oh, like, it's productive is a big
productivity. Right?
That's a big topic, productivity, and then I'm also thinking about judgment as we're talking. Yeah. So
self-criticism.
I think those are future topics for sure.
I think so too.
Definitely. Well, I think it's time for the tea bag. I mean the tea message, not the bag, just the little card.
I think I read it last time. Do you want to read this one?
I'll read it.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's see. What do we have here? Breath is the voice of your soul. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank
See you
you
next time.